Hello, my dear friends. This is Maxine Taylor, and I have the November forecast for the United States of America. I'm going to jump into that in just a second, but I've got to share with you my latest pride and joy. Finally, my Take Back Your Money book is on sale on Amazon and my website, MaxineTaylor.com. This book is for you if money is a problem. What I've come to see in over 50 years of spiritual work is that everything comes from our programming. When we release the programming and replace it with conscious programming, our lives change instantly. And I've been doing private sessions with Take Back Your Life, whether it's Take Back Your Money, Take Back Your Career, Take Back Your Body. It can plug into any subject. I've been doing this for about 45 years, and people have told me how it instantly transforms their lives. So if you have concerns about paying bills, if you are scared about tomorrow financially, if you are angry because you are not in the top earning category, which always seems to create money for themselves, I think you'll find that this book is incredibly healthy and helpful for you, because it will take you step by step through what is blocking you. And when we unblock, our health improves. Not just money, everything improves. So if this is something that appeals to you, you can get it on my website or on Amazon. And if you would like a private, face-to-face, one-on-one session with me on Zoom, just go to my website, MaxineTaylor.com, and look under the spiritual coaching tab, because there you will see my 3 hour, 3 hours, Take Back Your Money session. It is powerful. I have had people tell me that their life changed instantly when they started going through the session with me. And by the time they finished the 3 hour session, they were totally transformed. I'm just quoting them. I know it works. So you might want to take a look at it if you are ready to see the programming that you have, how it's been blocking you financially. Release it and replace it. You want to take a look at that. Okay, now, the United States chart. Let's talk about it. First of all, the sun, the giver of life, starts off in the 6th house of the United States chart. Now, those of you who have been following me know that I am using a mundane chart. It's not the chart of a person. And so the house definitions are slightly different, understandably. And I read them out to you every week, every month, so that you can refresh your mind and really get clear on things. So the 6th house rules the military, it rules health. And with the sun in our 6th house, our health improves. Now you might say, well, we've got this disease and that disease and this. Yes, but the giver of life has been and will continue to help heal those who have been programmed to get sick. It's very simple. The 6th house rules jobs and workers, particularly civil servants. It rules pets, it rules food, it rules all animals, and of course, police and fire departments, any civil service job. So that has been improved. Now you might say, well, it didn't do this and it didn't do that. Well, look at where the starting point was. On the 29th of the month, the sun will move into the 7th house in the United States chart. And the 7th house deals with open enemies. The 12th house is behind the scenes enemies, hidden enemies. The 7th house is international affairs, war, lawsuits, good grief, okay? Open enemies are out front enemies. The public, it rules politics, marriage and divorce, and the lower courts. And so a light is going to be shed on those areas that I just read off, because the sun is the giver of life, and it brings its light so that we may live and heal in that area or those areas. Now, the full moon and the new moon. The full moon is on November 8th, but it's not just a full moon. It's a total lunar eclipse. Now, on an eclipse, many of you know, well, let me just start from the beginning. We feel the effects of an eclipse approximately a week or two before it occurs. The eclipse is strongest 3 to 4 months after it occurs, but it stays with us until the next pair of eclipses come along. November 8th in the United States is the official election day, official midterm day. This is a very powerful day. Why? Because the eclipse on a full moon is what is going to be going on. What happens on a full moon? Explosiveness. Everything comes to a head. And I'm, of course, thinking of January 6th as I say that, not because there was an eclipse, but because, as far as I'm concerned, all bets are off. I don't know how this eclipse is going to manifest. And it's in the 12th house of hidden enemies. Let me read you what the 12th house, all the categories that the 12th house covers: bribery, spies, hidden enemies, prison, jail, hospitals, criminals, charitable institutions, seclusion, secret society, and welfare. It can trigger great martyrdom and justification, you know, that type of thing. That is what the full moon in the United States 12th house is going to activate. Now, I lost a piece of paper. Oh, well. Oh, here it is right here. Excuse me, guys. The full moon is squaring the midheaven. The midheaven is the party in power, which of course is the Democratic Party right now. And it squares the moon, which in the United States chart rules money, the house of money, and the house of communication. This is behind the scenes activity aimed at President Biden and the Democratic Party. And this can be in-house enemies. In other words, they're hidden enemies. They may claim to be friends, but they are enemies. And I've read you everything that the 12th house rules, and it's very reminiscent to me of January 6th, in that behind the scenes activities and hidden enemies are involved. Now, 2 weeks after the full moon, and remember, it's a total eclipse of the moon, more power. We have a new moon 2 weeks later. And on the new moon, energy starts growing. And it's in that sixth house of work, health, service, the military, jobs, pets, food, all animals, and all government workers. And so there's a new start involved. I'm thrilled to see that. All right, now, moving right along. Saturn is the brown planet up here. Saturn is reality. Saturn in your personal chart is not necessarily fear and restriction, although it is listed as such. It can be responsibility. I don't mean obligation, which it can be in negative astrology books. I mean, respond to your ability as a leader. Saturn is on the top of our chart. That's our public image in the world. It is time to respond to our ability as a leader. And whenever you have Saturn at the top of your chart, you are at the top of your career, and that would be the United States. Now, Saturn sits on the moon, and the moon rules the second house of money in the United States chart and the third house of communication. And so there can be restrictions that we feel, and this would account for the earning power of the people. Money, savings, finances, the stock exchange, banks, debts, personal debts, commerce, and trade. So when the ruler of these houses is up here represents the president. And these are the areas that the president of the United States, no matter which party he's in or she's in, happens to be. And so there is Saturn saying the president is responding to his abilities and talents as a leader in the world. It's quite nice. Now, look over here at the 6th and 7th houses. I read off to you the 6th house and the 7th house because the sun went through the 6th and 7th house. Well, Venus, the pink planet, and Mercury, the blue planet, are also moving through the 6th and 7th houses. First of all, Venus is love. Venus is the lesser benefic. It brings love, it brings art, beauty, money. Beautiful. It is in the 6th house of work, health, the military, pets, animals, all the things I talked about until the 22nd. And it's bringing love. It's bringing improvement to those areas. When it moves into the 7th house, it brings love and balance and harmony to our international affairs, to lawsuits, to our open enemies. We can have communication with them that is very satisfactory. Lawyers, politics, divorce, marriage, and all contracts, as well as the public. And so will be experiencing blessings from the 22nd onward. Now, Mercury hits the same house cusp a day earlier on the 21st. Mercury is what we think about and talk about. What are we thinking about? Our work, our health, how we can grow more food, how we can stabilize the health situation. On the 21st, it moves into the 7th house of politics and open enemies and everything I just read to you. These two planets will go from the 6th house to the 7th house on the 21st and 22nd, and the sun will follow on the 29th. And so our open enemies can be exposed. And remember that the eclipse emphasizes our hidden enemies, and the hidden enemies of the state can be, what was that movie where the guy said, the call is coming from inside the house? This can be hidden enemies who do not appear to be enemies. It's that simple. What I've seen is that most of the people in the House and Senate verbalize their stand. Those who flip-flop and waffle, I don't know where they stand. You don't know where they stand. I don't know if they're open enemies or behind the scenes enemies. I don't know if they're enemies. It's hard to say because we're talking about hidden enemies. And sometimes evil hides in plain sight. You know that, I know that. Okay, now let's move on here. Jupiter, the greater benefic. It brings blessings. It rules money. It rules God's law. It's in Pisces, which is spiritual. It is abundance in all it touches. And so let me tell you about the mundane 11th house. It rules Congress and congressmen, and it is retrograde. That means it's not functioning on its fullest and highest level until the 23rd. And that's when it goes direct. And that is when we'll see progress made, more progress, any progress in Congress. So let me keep on going. Congressmen and women, legislation, the Treasury, city and county councils, and the Friends of the United States. Remember, the 7th house is allies, but they can be open enemies at the same time. In other words, we know where they are coming from, but they may be on our team for a certain period of time. The 11th house deals with the friends that we have. The United States has Great Britain, France. You hear what I'm saying? Every country, no matter what country you live in, you have friends. Now, it goes direct on the 23rd. What do we have going on the 23rd? The new moon. The new moon. When we have a new moon, the energy starts flowing, moving forward. And when a planet goes direct, it expresses itself on its fullest level. I think Congress is going to get somewhat of its act together after the 23rd. I certainly hope so. Now, the final aspect and planet, Mars. Mars is the red planet. It is passion. It is war. It is what we fight with and fight for. It is what we take a stand for. It's gunfire. It's rebellion. Okay. Mars is retrograde. It went retrograde just 2 days ago. And so it's backing up, which means it's not functioning at its highest and best level. It's backing up, and it will go direct in January, and by March, it will be back over its natal place. So right here, This is Mars as it orbits the Earth. And Mars is kicking natal Mars in the butt, so to speak, saying, let's war, let's fight, let's use gunfire. Okay. It's particularly strong from the 25th through the 27th of the month. It's a short period of time. It will go, it will be retrograde. It is retrograde. It will go direct, whether it's February or March. I forget when it goes direct, but it is certainly not this month. And then it will go forward and return to its place right on our natal Mars. I will let you know when that happens. I'll keep you abreast of the dates. Okay? No reason to worry about what's going to happen 6 months from now. We're talking about what's going on now. So from the 25th to the 27th, maybe back it up a day or so, 23rd through the 29th, and forward a couple of days. The people are going to be angry. Period. Bottom line. Now, those of you who have followed me for a while know how reluctant I am to say something like that because I don't want to put it out there. I don't want to give it power. There are some people's charts I don't look at anymore. Number one, because they make me physically ill. Number two, I don't want to give them any power. I don't want anybody saying, oh, well, Maxine Taylor said such and such. Therefore, I have permission to do so-and-so. I'm just telling it like I'm reading it. So I hope this is helpful to you. And I hope you will join me next month in December, when once again, I take a look at the United States chart. And to all my friends all over the world, just know that we are one. We are one. We are not alone. And we can change the manifestation that evil has put into place, because evil can't stand the light. All we have to do is remember that we are the light, and that we are not alone, that we are one, and move into that space. And I know that there are tragedies going on all over the world because the darkness has taken over. It's that simple. But we can create a tipping point. The entire world does not have to move into light. Many people don't want to. They want to fight. They want a war. They want death and destruction. They want power. War means money. They want war. And then it becomes an ego thing. Many of our leaders are Machiavellian. And if you want a real good idea of how they operate, get that little book that a lot of us had to study eons ago called The Prince by Machiavelli. It lays it out for you. So we can bring about change just by moving into peace and joy and love. And those of you who have suffered incredible tragedies, my heart goes out to you. And just know that there are people right now watching this video who are seeing the planet in light. So let's just take a second and see our beautiful planet in light. You may have had a bad day. Just know you're helping our planet. because you are the light of the world. Join me next month when once again I take a look at the United States forecast. And until then, may the stars bless you and shine on you and yours. Bye for now.